Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren introducing legislation today that would make it easier to criminally charge executives for a company's wrongdoing. It would widen criminal liability to include negligent executives of companies with more than $1 billion in annual revenue. Executives could face up to a year in jail for a first violation, up to 3 years for a second. Warren outlines a lot of this in a Washington Post op-ed where she says it's time to reform our laws to make sure that corporate executives face jail time for overseeing massive scams. Even mentions Tim Sloan and sort of her role in his departure.
And she's still, I mean, I think that she should go. This guy just quit. Now, I say a little graciousness was necessary and it was avoided. I think that this was an ill-advised way to do it. And if I were working for Elizabeth Warren, which, by the way, I'm not, I would say, listen, you want to say that corporations, the way that we go after corporations is we fine them. And the executives don't pay a thing. The shareholders do. And we have to change that and make it so that the executive pays and that we single out the executive and we don't bang the shareholders.
So you'd prefer clawbacks to prison?
Yes. And prison, if we find out, let's make it easy. There were people who got away with not having to pay any jail time, do any jail time, and we want jail time for executives. And there are people, I don't want to mention them because they haven't been convicted of anything, that would be libelous, but there are people we know who violated laws, and what happened is the shareholders paid. And the prosecutors did not go after the top guys. And we heard over and over again, they were too hard to get. U.S. attorneys did not. It's harder to go after an individual than it is just to bang the shareholders. This is right in thrust. They ought to go after. I just think that the idea that Tim Sloan, who did, from every report, nothing, gets mentioned in this, was, I thought, unfair. But she's running for president. But the thrust of this would be smarter if she pivoted and said, we're tired of the shareholders being hurt. We should just go over to the individuals who go over, and let's not go after the institution, because the institution was violated by these individuals. That would have been a more sophisticated argument.
Sure.
I'm a little surprised she didn't do it.